Welcome back to what I think is part 4. I really thought I'd have this game done in 2-3 videos, but it's a lot longer than I remember it being. Anyways, it's time to mount up and get back to work. So I go and meet up with Tobias and tell him what the little German told me.
What business have you?
I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Do you know who did it?
Yes.
What did he say?
And since he has a functioning brain, he's able to figure out who the knight is working for just by looking at some handwriting.
Safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognise the hand. It's a Clement of Caplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
We learn more about the forgeries, and then with this new trove of information, he sends me off to Sassau to continue the investigation.
Anyone can get hold of.
You will go to Sassau at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them.
So off we go, where upon arrival, I beat a thief with completely measured force. Bitch. Then I question and get a new lead from one of the
You ever work
blacksmiths.
with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the Monastery craftsman's yard has bought out all the copper.
After which I ride off to speak with this Zach, stopping off at the tavern along the way to speak with my little German friend, who also gives me another lead.
Tell me more.
He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
And after questioning a painter, it's finally on to the copper thieving magpie,
Do you work any copper?
who quickly shuts me down.
I never use copper.
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmiths' copper.
I'm being made a fool of yet again, it seems. Anything else? I still have work to do.
So I then go speak to his son, who decides it's a good idea to threaten me.
Father says you don't work any copper.
You're asking for it, boy.
I then name drop Radzig, and the poor lad shits himself.
Cobbler.
What are you talking about?
I'd let you read my bill of authority, but I doubt you're educated enough to understand it.
We do make copper sheets here at night.
Your father has some serious explaining to do.
After which I confront Zack again and he crumbles.
Your son put it quite differently.
All right. I suppose there's no point lying.
Why?
Pays me good money.
Did they threaten you?
They didn't have to.
Do you know where to find them?
He
If I
then
tell you
tries to
everything I
bribe
know.
me,
You should be on your knees begging for mercy right now, not trying to make a profit.
but I set him straight and he tells me the
You've
truth.
still got the cheek to try to strike a deal with me.
One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota.
And then
Where can I
after
find
the
this
truth is
bastard?
obtained,
About that
he
black
offers
lady,
me a
help
job.
I'll gladly pay you.
Tell me what's going on.
The job being to fight as his champion against Master Otter's champion, while wearing his son's armour.
That sounds reasonable.
But before that can be done, I ask the overseer's
Yeah, how
hand
many
at the
quicksilver
monastery
in stock?
about the quicksilver,
Who's
and the
asking?
argument gets a
Nobody,
little
I'm just
heated
asking.
over the things
Then I
he's
don't have
done.
any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't.
Bollocks.
Nothing!
A whore dressed as a nun?
I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here.
And now for Zack's job.
Adieu.
Master Otter! We'll fight for Master Otter. Pup! Ta-ta.
The fight lasts a while, but I come out on top as usual. Did it. And now for some more investigation, as I question some bandits behind the monastery.
Why are you just sitting around?
Why not?
Where's Rapid?
Learning that this Rapata is in town, I kill one of the bandits and the other just walks away. I feel bad now. And now it's time to meet back up with Tobias and tell him everything I've learned.
What brings you to me?
I found out where they get the copper sheets from.
Really?
It's the smith on the monastery craftsman's yard.
Master engraver Jerome of Silesia.
Rapita.
Runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well.
With the conversation done, I then get trapped in this room as they've locked the door. Thankfully, after waiting an hour, I can finally leave and head off to question an engraver,
Good God, you look terrible.
You
who
don't
tells
get
me
all
his
the words
apprentice
learned, surely.
has locked himself in at home with either the plague or a hangover.
The fifth scourge of Egypt did smite him, the plague.
But turns out it was
You look
neither,
quite
and
sprightly
after
for
questioning
an
him,
invasion.
I
What?
learned that the
I've been
bandits
investigating
kidnapped his
counterfeit
woman
money.
and forced him
You
to
make
work
the
with them.
punch dice.
Those bastards kidnapped Esther.
I'm sorry about that.
So I go off to save her, quickly ending up in a small battle with some cumin. Then I ride around for a bit in the dark till I find the bandits and quickly dispose of them.
They won't hurt you now.
The damsel no longer in distress, I take her back to Sassau and
found
finish
that Esther
questioning the
was
man
caught me
whose
when I
name
went
I
to
don't
ship
remember.
They
Rapita.
And then what?
Told him to sod off.
Where will I find Rapita?
He watches me.
I then head out into the night and wait still until morning, where I find Rapita
Rapita?
leaning on a fence,
Tell me where their workshop is.
Of course.
who tries to run for it. So I give him a few slaps, and he then confesses everything,
It's in the Skullet's mines.
after which he asks me to kill him.
I prefer you just kill me here and now.
So I do. And now it's time to stop the counterfeiters with my little German boy. He just fucking left me. It takes me a bit to beat off these two particular bandits. But thankfully the little German didn't get too far ahead as he was busy with his own little foursome, which I helped finish off.
Well,
No, little German boy. Don't go to the weed cave.
With that done, we head into the mineshaft and find the counterfeiters.
I'm sure we could come to some sort of agreement. I have plenty of coin.
We can come to an agreement that you'll keep your mouth
Ulrich's not
shut.
very happy and tries to kill a man.
Please, don't take this personally.
Wait!
Thankfully I'm able to mention that I know who he works for,
you don't have to go back to the Rosenbergs.
How do you know about the Rosenbergs?
and since he failed his task, he can't go back to his employers.
Where would you
So I
suggest
offer him to work with Radzik, which he quickly refuses, and then leaves.
Where will you go then?
Where the road takes me.
I then grab the posh prick off the floor and take him back to Sassau, where Tobias has him carted off to Rattay,
Go to Rattay.
where I soon follow, and apart from getting ambushed along the way, I reach Rattay completely unscathed. And then go to sleep. Whereupon morning I report to Radzik, who gives me another order.
Thank you, sir.
Jezek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
So I run off to the Rattay jailhouse and question the pompous parrot.
God save you, Henry.
What?
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Be obstructive.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric.
Crimps.
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them.
That'll do me for the moment.
After learning about the recruiters, I go and report back,
What have you learned?
All sorts of things.
The monastery? Go to Sassau and try to find them.
after which I head off to continue the investigation, getting ambushed yet again. Oh, there's a dog! Fuck! Piece of shit! Oh, whoops. It's not where I meant to go. Attack. Oh, great. And with that out of the way, and there's another battle. And with that too now finally out of the way, I ride my horse down a hill. So this wasn't my best idea to bring a horse up the side of a cliff. Arriving in Sassau, I go question the bailiff, who tells me about another lead.
I heard some recruiters are meeting in Sassau.
Old Lederman's the only one that comes complaining.
And what does this Ladyman complain about?
Well, some youngsters go there to wrestle.
Have you heard of
Nothing worth mentioning.
So I go speak to this ladyman, and he tells me about its problem.
Heard all's not well with you?
I must have eaten something bad.
And did they all attack you?
They knocked the stuffing right out of me.
If you want, I'll take care of them.
There are several of them and just one of you.
And even offers me money for my help.
If you manage to pull it off, you'll get your...
But when I speak to the brawlers, I find out the truth.
You look like you've been assaulted.
Ladyman only got angry after losing a brawl that he betted his money on.
The tanner sent me.
Old Lederman's only been whining like that since he lost a bit of silver. Didn't bother him before that.
So then we
told
come
me
up with a
different.
plan
Of
to
course
trick
he
him.
did. I'll tell him I've taken care of everything, and you and your friends don't show up here for a few days. I'll get a reward, and we can split it.
After which I join in and have a few fights. Oh. That was fucking quick. He's still there, just unconscious on the fucking floor. It helps that I'm wearing armor. Good thing they didn't make me take this off. $375. Holy shit, I should beat more people. Winning all my bouts, I'm given a job offer, meaning a new lead.
Past me.
What's that?
There are people here looking for really tough men.
Thanks.
If there's a light in the church, go in and wait a while.
I have one more bite. And then I read in the dark and get my reward from the tanner. Then I wander around for a bit.
Good day, Henry.
Good day, whoever you are.
You look like you've been assaulted.
Why? Because I have a bit of dirt on my helmet. Ending in the innkeeper coming on to me.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
Why are you talking like that? I then sleep until evening, where I head off to the church, where I pray and then meet with said recruiters, who give me a task.
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
I've got a test ready for you.
What test?
You have to kill Pius.
I have to find him first.
We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
Cloister.
After giving me my new quest to kill Pius, they quickly leave me to wander off into the night, without a torch, which is against the law. But crime doesn't pay, and I'm stopped the next morning.
Surrender! You've committed a violation!
What the fuck? Thankfully, however, I talk my way out of it.
If only you knew what you just got yourself into.
Well, I thought...
And I'm able to leave. I then speak to a man named Carl who's going to the monastery.
Are you Carl by any chance?
But if I want to talk to him, I have to first get rid of his man friend Manfred.
Really?
So of course I get him drunk,
There's no
play
doubt.
some dice, and then he goes off to bed.
I'm going to sleep.
I then make a deal with Carl to get myself into the monastery in his place.
Voluntarily? You don't look like someone who'd want to spend the rest of his days on his knees.
So I strangle Manfred in his sleep, taking what I need, giving Carl half of his gold.
Here's half the purse.
Meaning it's now time to start my new monastic life.
It's time
So
for
I
you
get
to
some
take
new
your
drip,
vow.
and Henry stares at the sun for a bit. Then in we go. After getting serenaded by an old man, Henry spits some Latin bars.
Suscipe me Domine secundum.
But sadly he has a shadow writer.
In loquium tuum.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor.
With the ceremony done, Novice Antonius shows me around the monastery.
Remember one word: discipline. This is the way to the dormitory. This is the garden. Here are the frattery and scriptorium.
After this lengthy wander, I start asking him some questions, and he tells me a bit about himself.
I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did.
I then go around, questioning the other novices to try and figure out which one of them is pious.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yoda.
You can call me Siskin.
Lucas, also a novice.
They're all either sketchy as shit, or won't tell me a thing.
Nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you.
No one really knows anything about me.
That's all I wanted to know.
All
Unlike the
except,
others,
of course, for
he
Antonius,
absolutely
who seems
refuses to
oddly
speak
normal
about
in
his life
comparison,
before the
and as the
board.
day drags on, my brain decides to learn what a memory is, as I have played this game before, and although my memory is about as useless as a one-legged horse, if I'm remembering correctly, then Antonius is actually pious. So I bank on my memory being correct, and I confront him. And thankfully for me, my memory was actually right.
I know you're pious.
So you're finally sure?
As without any evidence whatsoever, he admits almost immediately that he is in fact pious. But I don't really want to have to kill him and run around like a headless chicken, so we decide to make a deal and stage a fake debt.
Let's do it your way.
I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement.
But first I need some blood and the monastery's keys. And since I didn't know who had said keys, as I wasn't really paying attention, I figured out a solution: to wander around in the night, strangle, and loot the pockets of random monks.
You should be sleeping, not scaring people.
Even if I do get caught. Thankfully I do find the prior, knock about and grab the keys. I then pretend nothing happened and head to mass, where I learned that my nightly shenanigans weren't really appreciated. So they lock me in a room. A rubber room with rats. And after a day of solitude, I get out and grab a bag of blood from the kitchen.
This isn't the place for you.
I then head to mass again, which got interrupted by the dog. He's been stuck in the door since we got here. Apologies about that, he won't go away. With mass over, I talk to Pius and give him the keys and blood.
Excellent. Straight after Vespers, we'll meet in the dormitory.
After which we split up,
Brother?
and I get grabbed once
Is
again.
this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence does
and get put in the room again. The next day I have to try and blend in until evening, so I eat breakfast, make some potions, do some writing, steal a Necronomicon, and then it's time to enact our plans.
God.
Dropping the blood, we rush for the exit. Sneakily. After the dog, don't mind him, he likes doors. Okay, it's his thing. Once we were out, he gives me his dice.
Your lucky die.
And I re-equip my stuff and wander around in the river for a bit. I then ride off into the wilderness and light a fire. Henry's then woken up and I speak to the recruiters again.
The world's full of idiots.
It's done.
Who tell me where their camp is.
And on top, there's an old abandoned fort.
With yet another mission successful, I ride back to Ratai and report.
Sorry to say, it's nothing good.
After everything that's happened, you have even worse news. That's almost impressive.
Razik doesn't seem to want me in danger, and then changes his mind rather quickly.
All I have to do is go and take a look.
That's out of the question. It's too risky.
It would be useful to have a spy go and scout out how many of them there are.
Go there and find out how many of them there are.
As my new orders are to infiltrate the camp, and with that, it's on to the next video. I'll see you then. Bye.
This is blasphemy.
Here you are.
That. What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you.
You said that in earshot of a novice. So far in the monastery, Henry has stolen key to some forbidden books, the monastery keys, a lot of different books, communion chalices, silver goblets, glass goblets, golden crosses. He's stolen all of this shit.
How come you're wearing such fine armour? Is there a joust happening?
That's not what the subtitle said.